My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to ask the question, can you poach an egg? That's right, can you poach an egg? And this question actually goes out to all my armchair experts out there, which is me included, right? This is not a call out episode. That's not my shtick. I don't call people out. I wanted to address this because I realized something the other day as I was scrolling through Instagram. Well, I realized this in my failed attempt to poach an egg. Right, to poach an egg. And you might be thinking, well, what's this have to do with marketing? What's this have to do with anything? It's more of a mindset thing, but it does involve our exposure to the internet and especially social media. So I love eggs. I eat a lot of eggs. It's part of my regimen. But I wanted to try poaching an egg. Number one, because I felt that it might be a healthier way to cook an egg, right? Like it's not fried, so you're not messing with all the oils, and it's not hard boiled, which can be a little boring. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. And number two, the reason why I want to try it, because I saw a video on it on Instagram. It's like, okay, that can't be all that hard, right? I saw it on Instagram. It was like a 30-second video. And it was like the poaching of the egg was just like, a fraction of the actual piece of content. So I was like, okay, it's no brainer. I saw it on Instagram. I know how to do it. I go to poach this egg, and it was anything but. It was anything but. It was absolutely a disaster. Scooping it, just like putting it in the thing and trying to cook it, it ends up looking more like egg drop soup, and then trying to take it out of the boiling water and put it on my plate. I've got this watery egg on my plate that I now have to eat. So complete failure. So the point of all this story is that, armchair expert. Like I saw it on the internet and it looked easy and I assumed I can do it, right? Of course, poaching an egg can't be super difficult, but it takes more. My point is it takes more than just seeing it on the internet to know how to actually do it. And I think we trick ourselves. We get fooled into thinking that we know how to do a lot of things because of our exposure to information on the internet. I think it was Brenda Burchard I was listening to recently, as either his podcast or the Influencer Summit that he just recently re-released the replay on. He was talking about capability. And capability was more than just knowing how to do something, right? It was skill sets, knowledge, and a couple of other things. But I think we live in an age where there are so many armchair experts out there because, again, we have pretty much instantaneous access to any information that we want. And so that makes us feel like we know how to do things. We have information on how to do things, but we don't necessarily know how to do them. And it's not even just doing a thing once or maybe twice or three times, then you know how to do it because you follow the instructions online. You actually have to repeatedly do this thing, right? And that's why, part of my hesitation for teaching content creation and doing this masterclass on February 27th, it's like, well, do I really have enough what it takes, or am I just regurgitating information, right? Is that what this course is? And I have to remind myself, no, I've been studying this stuff, not only studying this stuff and gaining a knowledge base, but I've been putting all of this into practice, for the last 12 months. And with the show, we're at 160, maybe 170 episodes by now. Right. So I'm doing this stuff, and that's why I can teach it to you, because I've learned actually more in the doing than I have in seeing a post or reading a blog or taking a course. Taking a course and consuming content is great. That's part of it. That's part of capability, right? That knowledge base. But you have to develop your skills as well. And so, in the poaching an egg example, I'm going to continue to practice poaching an egg before I actually, can teach poaching an egg. I'm not going to teach poaching an egg, but you guys know what I mean. I refuse to be an armchair expert, and I encourage you to refuse to do the same. And catch yourself when you're doing this, right? We can be very, very, and what ends up happening is, I talked about this before, with the difference between having an opinion and being opinionated. Becoming an armchair expert leads you to being, it can lead down the door, or lead down the path path to being very, very opinionated because you think you know everything, because you have access to that information. You also think that you're an expert on all that stuff. No, no. Yeah, that's not the equation. That's not the equation. Don't be an armchair expert like I thought I was with poaching an egg, basically. So that's my message for today. Do not be an armchair expert. Learn how to poach an egg. So anyways, more for me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.